trust, and Game Freak. I know it's a hard thing to do right now, but hear me out. Hi, hello, welcome. I'm Lazy Ape, and I want to talk to you today about a company that has provided us with one of the most iconic video game franchises of all time. A company which we used to trust so much, delivered, but also eventually failed us over and over again. But within that period where we expected failure, there ended up being a big change in which Game Freak approaches their video games. And that's why I cannot stand everyone acting unhinged about the following video game. Legends Z-A will be one of the best video games that Game Freak has put out in years. And this is a big statement to make, I know, and which you guys don't understand. Pokemon fans love to complain. They are the biggest whiners I've ever seen. If the Pokemon company, Game Freak, if they do what you guys asked them to do, you will say, oh, it's too different. This is not what we want. We want it like how it used to be. But if they don't do it differently, you're like, oh my god, why aren't you changing it up? Bro, I've literally had this conversation with one of my friends. You're an idiot sand dweller, NS. Look, the facts are clear. Regardless if Game Freak changes it up, regardless if it's not as good as it's supposed to be, the games sell well. Scarlet and Violet still sold extremely well regardless of what people thought about the video game and the output in which it released in. Here's the thing, Pokemon Legends Z-A, people are complaining about a couple points that I want to bring up. First of all, the wild zones. Listen, we haven't even seen everything, but you guys are complaining about such a little aspect. Are we gonna have enough room to catch Pokemon, to see Pokemon, to explore, whatever? Because it takes place in Lumiose City. You haven't seen what they have done with it. Pokemon knows, they're not dumb. They know that they have to make their game in a certain way so it still stays true to the Pokemon franchise. There's so many things that they changed, and this is my main point that I want to bring up. They took a gap year. Pokemon has not taken a gap year from releasing games ever since Sun and Moon. That's why it's so crazy that they actually took their time again, because they saw the output, they saw what they were doing wrong, they wanted to change it up, so they're now taking their time making this game. Even then, it's almost 2 gap years. The game is releasing at the end of this year, so they're having 2 extra years to develop the game. Do you really think they're not putting as much effort or time into this? Like, people were more hype about Scarlet and Violet instead of the game where they're taking 2 gap years to develop it? Are you stupid? They're literally avoiding crunch time, rushing the game. How would they mess up? I feel like Game Freak would not be stupid enough to have all this time and not use it, you know, effectively. If they did, you know, waste time and the game somehow still ends up being contentless or whatever, you know, come back to this video, punch me in the face, but let me know, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'm very confident. Look, a company that big, they know how to plan their stuff out. They won't waste time. And obviously, they have a lot of things planned. Big things to hide. They're not gonna show you everything within this first gameplay trailer. This is the reveal. Like, think back to these trailers, like Legends Arceus. You saw Arceus, you saw the landscape. You didn't think it was as, you know, amazing as it eventually became to be. Spoiler alert. Volo. Listen, Volo was one of the best things that the Pokemon company has done within a Pokemon video game in years. Everyone freaked out when they saw Giratina, when they saw him opposing Arceus. That's such an amazing narrative, especially for the time period the game takes place in. These are the things they could, you know, potentially bring up Zygarde's true form and his whole story, what happened after the video game. Because like a lot of people notice, it seems like they're putting this game into the future after the events of X and Y, after the events of Sun and Moon, because he features within that game. Pokemon Legends Arceus looked very different, and for some even boring. For me, it looked very boring. That's why I ended up not buying it when it released and only bought it after I saw gameplay of the game. And when I saw how amazing the game was, I wanted to experience it myself. If they showed so many like secrets within the trailer when the game released, everyone would be like, oh, why did you show it? And now that they don't show anything, it's like, what? Why are you not showing anything? This game looks boring, bro. Can you shut up? Think back, Scarlet and Violet, they didn't show the time travel stuff. It ended up being awesome regardless. So trust their process. Trust in Game Freak. Because even if you blame them of past mistakes, if the game ends up being amazing, you'll buy it anyways. Just like I did with Legends Arceus. Like I said, I'm a big Pokemon fan, but I'm not an idiot. I can think rationally. I can hate on the companies I love. My last video was hating on PlayStation. I love PlayStation. I love Pokemon. I love Marvel. I love all these things. But if they mess up, I'm gonna tell them about it. But here's the thing. Don't talk smack about something that hasn't released yet if you have no credibility like I have, and if you just haven't seen what they have to offer yet. As the age-old saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover. A saying which these nerds which are hating on this game love to use. In conclusion, just wait it out. Don't talk too much smack about the Wild Zones, Mr. Penguin Man. And believe me, this game is going to be amazing. And it will be the redemption arc Kalos has needed for years. If not, I'll come back to this video about how I was terribly wrong. And I will apologize and call myself out for being a stupid primate. Goodbye. Please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed.